Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a very long, I don't want to say hard, but just a very long video explaining just like I feel like starting to come to the realization about here, that's better. I'm coming to the realization about a lot of things that have happened in my life, and I'm just realizing that I need to hold myself accountable for my own actions, and I'm going to explain basically my story and about what's happening. So I feel like the past, I don't even know, like couple of years of my life, I have been very depressed about a lot of different things, but mostly I would say my financial situation and my weight. And I feel like this is a really kind of uncomfortable topic to talk about, but I feel like the past couple of months especially, I've been making a lot of videos basically showing me crying, having mental breakdowns, being like just super extra. And I've just come to the realization that I really owe my mom a big apology. And it really sucks because I feel like she's been the only one helping me, or shouldn't say the only one, but the main person helping me for so many years, and I keep blaming her for all my problems in a way that was just so unfair. I'm crying, but it's not about me. It's just about, I feel like, how wrong my actions were. And I just came to the realization that I need to take accountability for my own actions and the part I played in where I am today. So just to give you guys a backstory, basically ever since I started college, went off to college, I was 17, and it was like my first time being on my own, and I just hadn't had that experience. And so basically, I don't even know how I'm going to explain this. Basically, I have a shopping problem. Like, I'm a shopaholic. I feel like this is like AA. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny. But basically, when I was 17 and had first went off to college, I was blowing all my money basically. And so I just remember, I'm gonna kind of explain the way I thought about things, and then I'm gonna tell you like how I've grown. So when I was 17, I went up to college, and my mom was still on my bank account, still had access to all my money. And so I remember being 17, and I didn't have meal plan, and I didn't have a car. So I would have to go grocery shopping, and then for groceries. And I don't know why my mom was like this, but I feel like the initial like resentment that I had towards my mother probably started around this time, because I do feel like my mom did unfairly kind of punish me for my older sister's mistakes. And to make this make sense, basically, my older sister had wasted a lot of money, and my mom saw that she had wasted a lot of the money that my mom gave us. Like, my mom willingly gave us like $10,000 when we graduated from school. And so she had given all that money to my older sister, and my older sister basically went buck wild. Which, this isn't about her. That's my older sister's story to tell. But after she did that, my mom was like, well, I'm not going to give me, the next oldest, the $10,000. And so she didn't want me to waste it and make my sister same mistakes, which I feel like I did worse, honestly. But so that was kind of my mom's mentality when it came to me, was she didn't want me to do what my older sister did. And so because of that, she was kind of super, super strict on my spending, I felt. And I didn't think it was fair. And so I kind of got resentful because basically I would have to ask my mom anytime I wanted to spend money, because she would have control over my account and she would block my card. So I would go to the grocery store and I would be trying to check out and my card wouldn't go through. And it wouldn't go through because my mom was on my account and she would block it, so I couldn't spend money. So I'd have to call my mom, let her know how much my bills were, and ask her to unlock it so I could buy groceries. And when you're 17, 18, and you're trying to be an adult, you don't want to have to ask your mom every time you try to spend money. Like, that part, I will say, I don't think was fair. But how I reacted to it was also not the right way to go about it. So I was growing very, very frustrated because of that, and I felt like my mom was being overly restrictive of my money, and I didn't like it. Like, I just didn't like my mom having to go through my mom to spend money for myself, and it wasn't normal to me, and I don't think that's normal. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I understand why my mom did it, but I still don't think that was a healthy thing to do. So, in reaction to that, I basically opened credit cards because that was my only way to access money that my mom didn't have access to. And I was very naive, very young, and I didn't really understand how credit cards work. And it kind of happened, honestly, as an accident, how I even got my first credit card. Like, I think I was on Amazon and they said something about, you'll get money off, apply for this, and I just put in my information. I didn't actually understand it was a credit card that I was applying for. I thought it was just like a program. So I put all my information in and I got, I want to say, like a $2,000 Amazon credit card. And at the time I actually didn't know it was a credit card. I don't know what I thought it was, but it was just like, you checked out, I got money off, and I was just happy because I like saved money on like my books. I think I was probably ordering books for school or something. And so I was using Amazon a lot at that time, and every time I checked out, it was like, oh, use this, use this. And so I thought it was just like an Amazon like store credit card. And then like a couple weeks later, I get like an actual physical credit card. I'm like, wait, this is a credit card that I've been spending. And so for me, it was just like, I was just happy because I had access to money that my mom couldn't control, type of thing. And I feel like it's very important that I explain that my mentality around that time was, I didn't see what my mom was doing as help, and I viewed it as she was trying to control me and she's trying to control how I spend my money. And so I reacted to it. How I responded to it was different, because if I thought she was helping me, if I felt that she was helping me, I don't think I would have reacted the way I've done. I wouldn't have felt the way. I wouldn't have grown resentful. So my resentment towards my mother grew from feeling like she was trying to control me. She's trying to control how I spend my money. And I do think that she initially was. And eventually it got worse. So let me just continue on with this story because I feel like I'm not making sense, and I'm very, very sorry because this is not a rehearsed video at all. This is just me trying to explain things and why I need to be accountable, take responsibility for my actions, and accept that I am where I am right now because of me and nobody else. So after freshman year, after all of that, again, as a response to me not wanting to have to go through my mom every time I wanted to spend money, I started opening up credit cards. And me being young, dumb, and naive was running up these credit cards, not realizing, oh shoot, you have to actually pay these back. And I didn't even have a job at the time. I think I had gotten a job in the dining hall shortly later in that semester, and I was making not like maybe like $300 a month. So, but I was racking up like more than that a month on these credit cards because my credit was actually very, very good. So the reason I was even able to open up all these credit cards is because my mom, again, excuse me, my mom helping me had made opened a credit card account for me, and I had really good credit. Like I had that. She had been using that since I was in high school, and so I had actually a very good credit score. I don't anymore. Which is all my, again, me taking responsibility for my actions. That's on me. That's my own fault. So I had good credit. I was able to open up. I don't even know when. I just started applying. I would get applications. I think I opened up Credit Karma, and that was where it went bad, to check my credit score. And they had all these offers, and so I kept accepting credit cards because it was kind of like an addiction, honestly. Like, ooh, the way I viewed credit cards was just not the smart way. I viewed them as like money I can spend now that I don't have to pay back till later. And then when it came time to pay them back later, I didn't have the money. So I was just very dumb and naive and using credit cards. Credit card companies basically love me because I'm the person who loves to spend on credit cards, and I didn't even have the money to pay them back. So they were earning hella interest off of me. So I opened probably around like 8 credit cards, and then I did that for like a full semester and a half. And then again, I was working full-time student and working in the dining hall, making maybe around $300 a month. And I began to realize that the minimum payments after you run up 8 credit cards, with limits between $2,000 and $202,000 each, is not enough for a 17, 18-year-old girl to handle who only makes $300 a month. So I was like, I need money. I don't have enough money to make the minimum payments on all these credit cards. So I created this very, very bad situation, got myself into like, it was probably around like $3,000 of credit card debt that I just didn't have a way to pay back. And so what did I do? I ran to my mom and let her know like what I did, because I was trying to hide this the whole time too. Like I didn't want her to know I had these credit cards. I basically had just like stopped asking my mom for money, which I guess she should have known because she saw everything on my account. So I feel like a big part of it was me just trying to be, it was me kind of being sneaky, but me just wanting my independence from my mom. Like I don't think didn't want my mom to question everything I was trying to spend, to do all of that. Like I just wanted to have my independence and be able to spend my money how I wanted and not have to go through my mom. So that was my allure with credit cards. But anyways, I got myself into debt. $3,000 of debt. I couldn't pay it off, and basically my mom swooped in to help me, like she always does. And so I worked for her all summer, or she went ahead. Well, she took all the cards first. She took away all my credit cards first. She cut them up so I couldn't use them anymore, and paid them all off. And then I had to like work for her to pay it back, because my mom, she doesn't just give. Like, my mom does help, but she's still like, you're gonna have to work to get that money. Because my mom, I would say, like, my mom isn't like the parent who's just like gives without expecting you. She's like, you need to earn your keep, basically, type of thing. So she wasn't like just giving it to me. I had to pay it back, and that was understood. But even me paying it back was, she gave me a job so I could pay it back. So it's like, still, she's still helping me that whole time. So I worked for her, paid her back all the money, and then my sophomore year came. And I feel like this is when it kind of got worse, because because she saw how I ran up the debt, it's like she got even more restrictive with me. And again, me being in the mindset, my mom just wants to control me. She just wants to control me. She doesn't want to, she's not letting me be independent. She's not letting me make decisions for myself. I kind of went back to my old ways. Like, whenever I felt like my mom was trying to control my financial situation, I would try to, and she was trying to do this because she saw that I clearly didn't have the tools to do it myself, which I see now. How old am I now? It's like 7 years later. And it's just like, I feel like I finally see what the situation was, and how bad it was, and how dumb I was to do all these things. And I wish I could go back and take it back, but I can't. So basically, my dad served in the military, and my mom convinced him to give me his GI Bill, which basically just allows me to go to school. It just covers all my school fees, and plus I get a housing stipend. And so the only way my mom would allow me to get it is if she got all of the money. And so I didn't really like that. It wasn't really my decision. And again, this goes back to the mentality I had was, my mom was helping me, but I didn't see it as help. I saw it as, she's trying to control me. She won't let me be independent. She won't let me do this for myself. Not realizing, like, I have a problem. Like, I literally have a spending problem. The way I was spending money was just not normal. Like, it really wasn't. Like, I was just shopping to shop, because I really do love shopping, and it's a problem, but I'm working on it. Anyways, I have just would shop. It would make me feel happy. I just like buying new things. I don't know. So anyways, my mom makes a condition of me getting this money that helps pay for my school, that it all has to go to her, and that she'll only pay, like, give me a certain amount of it for rent and expenses. And I think how I viewed it was like, why are you still taking all the money? Like, it's supposed to be helping me. I should be able to control it. I should be able to pay off things. But really, she was trying to save a lot of it, because I obviously didn't need the full amount to cover all my expenses, and I could have saved a lot of it. But basically, my reaction to that was to get student loans so I could have money for myself and didn't have to go through her again. So a lot of it is like me reacting to my mom in a way that I felt gave me control, but really just put me in a worse and worse situation. So I started taking out student loans my sophomore year, and now I owe around $36,000 because of this. And in my mind at the time, I was like, well, my mom only covers rent, and I don't have enough for like food and gas because my mom was only paying my rent at the time. And I worked throughout like different jobs throughout college, but it wasn't like enough to actually live off of. And then, in addition to my shopping problem, where I was literally just wasting money. I was really just wasting a lot of money. And even now I'm just looking at it, like I was so dumb to be spending my money the way I was spending. Like I was spending money like I had a full-time job and could afford all these things. Granted, I'm like a big clearance shopper, but I'm a clearance shopper that's like over the top. So it wouldn't just be like one thing, it would be like 10 things on clearance, which it adds up basically is what I'm trying to say. So I would take out these loans and I justified it because I was like, oh, well, I'm going to have this money so I can buy my books and don't have to ask my mom for money. It was basically all just about me not wanting to have my mom's help. I just didn't want my mom's help. I didn't want to have to go through her for money, and I just wanted to be self-sufficient. And I looked at her and saw her as she's stopping me from being able to sorry, my friend just texted me. Anyways, she's stopping me from being able to be independent, and I don't like it. And so I took out all these loans, basically blew through that money too. I mean, I did use it for school and stuff, but I'm gonna be quite honest with you, I wasted a lot of it. Like, I didn't really need that money. It was just a wasteful decision that I made in order to not have to go through my mom. And so it was 3 years of that. And then I got myself into more credit card debt. And so basically, what am I going to say? I just want to say that I realize now, like literally just like right now, that I am the biggest reason for why I'm in the situation I'm in, which is living with my parents, no money saved, thousands of dollars in debt. Like, I am the person who's responsible for those own actions. My mom didn't force me to take out credit cards. My mom didn't force me to take out student loans. I made all of those decisions out of anger, out of resentment, and now I'm in the situation that I'm in now because I let my emotions I let my emotions lead me to believe that the only person helping me was trying to hurt me. And I just really want my mom to know that I'm so sorry. And to this day, like because my mom was controlling all of that GI Bill money, she has a lot of money that she's saved up for me. She's still helping me now. And I feel like I've been so resentful because I didn't like that I wasn't able to help myself. I don't like feeling like I can't do things for myself. But I am responsible for my actions. I'm responsible for why I'm in the situation that I'm in now. And it's time for me to stop blaming other people for my own wrongdoings. And so that is what this video is really about. It's just, I feel like I was projecting a lot of my anger at myself on my mom. And when she would tell me things that were the truth, I would twist them in my mind and be like, no, that's not what actually happened. Like, she was the bad guy. I made my mom to be this bad guy and just how I view things. It was like, I'm not the problem, she is. She's not letting me be independent. She won't let me have control of my own money, not realizing that she saw what I couldn't see in myself, which was that I'm not good at handling money. It's so not funny. It's so not funny. She saw that I'm freaking wasteful. I spend money I don't have. I keep creating debt for myself that I have to pay back in the future. And now I'm like thousands of dollars that I could have had by now to have my own place, to be living by my own. I have nothing to show for it but things that I wasted my money on that I didn't need. And so I feel like it was kind of like an epiphany kind of. So now I'm just accepting the fact that, you know what, Jasmine, you have no one to blame but yourself. And the way that you treated your mom, or the things that you felt about your mom, were just so wrong. And she really is the reason. She's the only reason I'm probably not homeless at this point, right? I kept blaming my mom for threatening to make me homeless. But the truth is, if it wasn't for my mom, like, my parents don't owe me living with them, right? My parents don't owe that to me. I'm 24 years old. I'm a grown adult. They don't have to let me stay with them. They don't have to let me do anything. And so I just realized I've been so unappreciative and so ungrateful and so stuck in this mindset that everyone's against me and I'm not the problem, everyone else is. And when you finally get to that realization that your problems are your own and your own responsibility and you have to take accountability for them, it's kind of just like eye-opening, like, wow, I wasted so much time blaming other people for my own actions. And so basically I'm just taking responsibility for them the way I should have. And I'm not even going to say like I didn't. And my mom literally has been there to swoop me out of problem after problem after problem I created for myself, and I still blamed her. And I just am so kind of disappointed in myself for just how I treated and viewed my mom. Like, knowing and seeing everything that I understand now, it's like I didn't want to see. I didn't want to see and I didn't want to accept that I was the problem. But now I know, like, I'm the problem and I need help, and I can't keep wasting money and spending money on credit cards and creating debt for myself the way I am doing, or I will never be able to be independent. And so, yeah, I think this is like my first step to actually being an adult and gaining independence, is just realizing I need to change. I need to better myself, and I'm responsible for my actions, not my mother and no one else. Because if it wasn't for my mom, I would probably be living on the streets already, because I never had money because I kept creating debt. And so I have been kind of like a slave to these credit card debts and my student loans. And the fact that I haven't had a full-time job in almost in 2 years, the 2 years since I graduated from college, it's just crazy to me. So yeah, this video is kind of all over the place, and I'm very sorry about that, but I kind of just wanted to share a little bit of my backstory so you guys can kind of understand where I am at in my life, and just show my growth as a person and as an adult. And hopefully a year from now, I'll be in my own place. I'll be doing much better. I'll have all my debt paid off. I'm still trying to have my debt paid off, but I can't keep creating debt. So my goals for the remainder of the year: save up as much money, pay off as much debt as possible, if not all. I'm still praying to have a full-time job, have enough money saved to move out, and, just start being an adult and not so reliant on my parents. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry for my tears. I feel like I still didn't really articulate everything exactly how it needed to be, but basically I just owe my mom a really big apology, and I just realized I need to take accountability for my actions and recognize that I need to change. All right, bye guys.